Antman and the Wasp Quantumania is exploding into theaters on February 17, 2023. This puts the third Ant-Man adventure film right at the beginning of Phase 5. Phase 5 looks to focus more on the threat of Kang and the multiverse saga overall. Paul Rudd's third hero film will be more significant than the other two prior films. Director Peyton Reed intended the third film to go further in that scope. Speaking with Entertainment Weekly, Quantumania director Peyton Reed weighed on the traditional viewpoint of his Ant-Man films in the past. He goes on and quotes, "People felt like, oh, these are just fun palate cleansers after a gigantic Avengers movie. For this third film, I said, I don't want to be the palate cleansers anymore. I want to be in a big Avengers movie." When telling him this, I metaphorically kicked in Kevin Feige's door. You can tell by the quotes in the interview how excited and ambitious he is when describing the significance and the overall importance of his third Ant-Man film. Peyton Reed has a point to where Marvel and Kevin Feige traditionally schedule Ant-Man films. You usually like a casual and fun adventure with Ant-Man following some big level threat that is defeated or introduced in the whatever Avengers movies. The first Ant-Man movie made its debuts months after Avengers: The Age of Ultron. Ant-Man and the Wasp, the sequel to that first movie, came out in 2018 and was sandwiched between two other Avengers movies as well. This time, however, we saw directly how Scott Lang got involved with the Avengers. I think we can all agree Ant-Man deserves a shot at a different schedule in the multiverse saga, just because of how well liked Paul Rudd is amongst, MCU fans. It looks like the third Ant-Man film will not only put Scott Lang in a different place within the MCU phase, it will also put Ant-Man directly in conflict with the biggest MCU villain since Thanos. In that same interview, Reed emphasizes and dubbed Kang as the most powerful force in the multiverse. He goes on and quotes, "In conversations with Kevin Feige and Marvel, it was like, I want to put Ant-Man and the Wasp up against a really formidable villain in this movie, and we're doing Kang the Conqueror. In the comics, Kang has dominion over time. He's a time traveler. His situation's a little bit different in this movie, which I won't spoil for you, but he's someone who, while we live linear lives, from childhood to death, Kang doesn't exist that way. It struck me as interesting to take the tiniest Avengers, in some people's minds, maybe the least powerful Avengers, and put him up against the most powerful force in the multiverse." So you can tell Peyton Reed is excited about introducing Kang in his film. It's a big undertaking introducing the biggest MCU villain at this phase. Thanos' MCU debut was at the tail end of the first Avengers movie. Kang isn't waiting until the Avengers assemble before striking first. Kang might be the strongest of the foes for the Avengers, but how can Ant-Man and his crew slow him down before his eventual emergence? Quantumania is being described as a sci-fi adventure, so I expect a ton of multiverse elements to ramp up even more in this film. Before I give my final thoughts, I'd like for you to give this video a thumbs up and hit that like button. Drop a sub and help me get that subscribers number going up. And the increase of filming in the quantum realm was another change Peyton Reed faced versus the first two Ant-Man films. Reed spoke in that same interview about the challenges of exploring the quantum realm more than ever before. In the first one, we introduced the idea of the quantum realm, we kind of dipped our toe into it, and then even more into the second one. But we've obviously left a lot of questions unanswered. We want to go in a different direction and create an epic movie where the bulk of it takes place in the quantum realm. For me, it was really exciting because the other two films take place in San Francisco. We were creating this incredibly complex subatomic world, and the environments and ecosystem and the creatures and beings that inhabit that world. So Ant-Man is in store for some big conflicts and some big adventures on his solo film. Kang and the threats from the multiverse will be the rallying cry for all the other Avengers. However, it will be Ant-Man in the front lines opposite this variant of Kang. I expect most audiences to view the threat of Kang from Ant-Man's perspective, of course. I think this is very poetic. Ant-Man introduces us to Kang since of the traditional placement of his films. But share your thoughts on this upcoming film and the characters debuting. Kang, MODOK, Bill Murray's character, etc. Share all those theories in the comment section below too. And I look forward to chatting more about this film in the future. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope you stuck around long enough to drop a like. If you did subscribe, tell me in the comments below. And share your thoughts on topics like this one and others by clicking on the right side of your screen. I appreciate your support, and this has been Joel from Real Talk Movies. See you soon.